Welcome to movie number 3, working with Quartz Composer, that will be run through Madmapper. This is the third movie, and we're just going to really get into the cool stuff to wrap this up and to show you how it all works. So we've worked through and got our cube nicely formed, and we've got the right light. Of course, you can play with this as much as you like until you get it just spot on. What I'm going to do is just go inside the lighting view here, and you'll see that I've just got an image just being revealed a little bit through there. Actually, I'll move this just out of the way a little bit. We've actually got a video as well. So I'm inside this patch directly to link up to the cube. What I want to do is put these images onto the surface. So I'm just going to take this image, the video, and I'm going to take the static image. Seeing the video is going to be on the front facing one, it's going to sit there for the longest. I want to show the video because it makes it the most interesting. So I'm just going to take my image here and just look for front image and see how it highlights. When I click on that, in a minute it should just reveal itself, and there it is just in there. Now of course at any stage, if you don't want it to be a cube, you want it to fit the actual movie format without squashing up, you can actually change that as much as you like, whenever you like, and that's the beauty. In fact, you can even change it on the fly while you're projecting, should you want to do that. But you know, get a good lot of practice in first before you go right into the tricky stuff. Right, we've got this image or this movie, so let's go and add the image into another surface. What I might do is I'm going to go and just put it, say, to the right image, something that's close and so we can see it. There it appears there. Maybe I'll put this one back to, it doesn't have to just go to 1, you can link it to, in this case, the back image, and maybe the top image. We'll see how that goes. So you can see how it's all starting to go together. So I'm not going to put any more in at this stage. That just shows you we're linking things up nicely, and there they are in place. And it's very simple to take it away by just taking away like so, and it's gone, or plonking it back even to another location here, or having as many from one object. Even if you've got other cubes, you can do this with one image, link it up to multiple cubes. You don't have to have one cube there as well, and we'll demonstrate that shortly. So it was just top image, I think, so I'll just plonk that one back there. So I'm going to, of course, go back here, and I'm just going to save that. As I mentioned before, if something goes wrong, you can always revert back to saved. If you've got your own license view, if you're working with another format, it might just be simply saving as some copies. But on this particular machine, I installed it and have the developer license for that to run. As I said, it's free. All you have to do is sign up with Apple. So let's go and make this a little bit more interesting. We've got our images there, or enough to show how this works. By the way, down here on the bottom of your view, we can, actually it's just showing outside the view here, but if I click on that, I could go to a 16:9, 4:3, DV-PAL, 720, whatever. So you can actually set under the view here what size you want to output or view this Quartz viewer. Okay, so just to let you know where that is. At the moment it's just 512 by 384 pixels, but it really doesn't matter about the size. It really comes down to the material you're putting in there, because you can stretch it a lot bigger, of course. Right, let's go back to the patch here. We're going to start giving it a little bit more action. So the next stage is essentially to give it some audio input. So if I click on that, down in the bottom window, I'll just start typing audio, and I want input. Okay, audio input. So I'll bring that through here. So what I'm going to do with this one is responding directly to the cube itself. I might just minimize that for the timing, or I'll just close it actually so it's clear. You see, if I'm making a noise, nothing happens at this stage, but we've got volume peak here. Again, you need to play around with what works and what not. For example, if I take the spectrum, see how nothing's highlighting here? But if I go to the volume peak up the top here, and I'm going to go down and I'm going to play with depth, and this is going to affect the depth of the movie. So if I click on this like so and make a noise, you see what's happening here. If I clap, maybe just wait till it goes around on the side a little bit, and it reacts to the sound, or it's reacting to the talking. If I don't like it, maybe I want to work with height, so I'll go back to the height, and it will just affect with the height, but it's also affecting the depth as well. Okay, now that's interesting, because what we can do if this happens, if I click back on the inspector, okay, actually no, I'll just go and click on the cube itself. Okay, so you can see I've got the width here. Maybe I just want to bring that up to 1 and click here, or sorry, I went to the wrong one. It should have been 1 or 1.4, I think it was. As you see, it's so easy to change the size. So I'll just go back to 0.4, I think it was, so just 0.4 there. Now we can see it, and the width was 0.4. And testing, so we've just got the height changing, and the depth is better and staying the same. Okay. Now, speaking of the way it's working here, if you want to slow things down, I can just click on the audio file itself here, and I can have it decreasing. I might have it decreasing a bit slower, so I might go 0.205 and click on that, and then testing. See it go testing, it goes slower. It's really up to you on how you change that. So play around with all the settings, but I'm going to leave that like so for now. You can have things that are changing with this, with the especially with the spectrum, changing background colors and all sorts of things, and it's really quite fun when you start working with the particle system. We're not doing that today, but at least you can start looking for that and playing with that. There's lots of tutorials out there that you will find on how to work with that as well. Okay, so I'll just close that for now, and I did mention we were going to be working with some 3D. Okay, so the other file that's there, if I just click here, was this DAE file, collada file. Okay, collada file. That's the format you save it as. It's a .dae extension. So I'll just go back to Quartz here, and in fact I'll just probably move that up so we can see it, and back to Quartz. Okay, I just want to have that viewable, and I'm just going to drag this in like so. Now that's not going to work directly, and nothing has come in at this stage. We do need to get another tool here from our basically our patch library. So I'm going to click on that, and what we're looking for is, when you're working with 3D, you're working sort of with meshes, and we need to render that mesh. So I'm just going to go to mesh, yeah, and just go to mesh, start typing mesh render, M-E-S-H, render, mesh, render, okay? So what I'll do is now just drop it in like so. Just get it into place here. Move that one as well, and I'll just close that. We still don't have anything in here at this stage. One thing that's an advantage, we've put everything inside the light, so we're going to get form. If you don't get much in the way of form when you start working with your 3D, it's because you haven't got it inside the lighting as yet. So you really want to work well with 3D, you want to put it inside a light form. So just paste it inside to a light panel or a light patch. We're already in that, so it should work fine. So I'm just going to go from mesh here, and then I've got mesh just here. See how it's changing color? I'll just click on that. And here we are. We've got our mesh form in place. Okay, and it's sort of static at this stage, but I've just brought in a rendered textured file, and it's actually being lit by Quartz itself. So it's all textured and just working with the environment. Now I could give that sound effects by dropping a volume peak onto that or whatever, but what I'm going to do, in fact any of these tools, I'm just going to make it nice and simple, and I'm going to, from the result here, or in fact probably from the file here, I'm going to just drag the result, and I'm going to go down to my mesh render, and I'm just going to look at, say, X rotation. See what happens. So it's highlighting, and there we go, and off it goes. Very cool, isn't it? So again, I can play with light, go back to the outer light and beef things up, but I'm not going to spend too much time on that. Just wanted to show you how it works. It's up to you to play with that. What I might also do is with the interpolation, again, it doesn't have to be just one thing. So I'm just going to click on here. Maybe I'll go down to just the Y rotation as well. So if we see that, now we're getting things sort of going in sync. I might even, just to make it go off sync a little bit, I'm just going to go back here and go to Z rotation, see what we get now, just to throw things off just a little bit. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. So we've got our file here, and everything's going really well. Now what I want to do is, I mentioned I was going to get another graphic in there, and I'm just going to show you how to do that before we put it into Madmapper. So first of all, we're going to go to save. It's just good practice. And I'm just going to use just the square, I think, from the stage. So I'm just going to highlight just these files. I can copy that or just hold my Option key down, and I'm just going to drag down like so. Okay. And as you see, I've actually got some interesting things going on there because I've actually dragged a few probably extra files than what I needed. Let's see, what have I got here? Okay, what I might do is, well, this one I'm going to, because I've also got 2 lots of interpolation, I'm going to change this interpolation and just to distort this bottom cube, and I'll go to Z rotation, see what happens here. I don't have the other thing linked up, should be sort of going separate. Actually, that's quite an interesting result that I'm starting to get now. What I might do is I might just reapply these, so I'm going to take these files away. And just click back on this one and just go to the inspector. Just turn off and turn it back on. Okay, now what I've got here is, now I see what has happened. One cube got a little bit expanded, but there's actually 2 cubes there, which was meant to be like that in the first place. And you see how that one's moving. What I'm going to do is, in fact, I might even use the same files that are here, just to show you that you can do that. And it's just a matter of playing with it, and it's interesting, sometimes these little mistakes give an interesting output. So if I just move that out of the way a little bit, I'm now going to, say, take with the graphic here, I'm just going to move it X, say 0.3, and see what that gives me. I click out here, see how it's moved it off the side, and with the Z axis, or taking it to Z space, might give it a 1, or maybe a little bit further. I'll give it a point and say 5 and see what that gives us. Okay, that's come a bit forward, so I might stick a negative onto that or send it back. So you see what you're starting to get there? Actually, let's just go back to the interpolation and just drag that down onto just say Y rotation and see what we're getting there. Okay, so that one's starting to move. And just to show how that's going there, I'm just going to drag an image onto that as well. I'll just go to the front image, and that's coming up. Maybe we should just go to the back image as well. Just bring that down a little bit. we'll say just right image, and we're starting to get some really interesting things happening here. So I've just stretched that image, so I probably should change the height of that a little bit if I wanted to. So if I click back here, see what was the issue with the height. Oh, that's a height of 1. I might just squash it down a little bit and just that 0.6, see what we get. Okay, so you can see a lot of control and playing around. And I might just add the sound back to this one as well. So if I just go to volume peak, come down here, and I'm going to just put that onto probably just the height for this one. See what we're going to get. Testing, 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 and we can move it around until we're happy with it. Okay, so that is the Quartz file, and basically I could light it a bit more, but I'm not going to spend any more time on that. I'm just going to save that. Okay, save, and I can close that. That's basically done. So that's closed. So let's go and just bring up Madmapper. So I'm just going to open a Madmapper file. So here's Madmapper, and down here we've got our Quartz here. So basically I'm just going to go File. I'm going to go to just Import Media, and great, it's gone straight to my file here, but of course I have to choose Quartz. Click on that, bring it in. We've got Quartz in here. I just now go into my quads. I'll click a quad here. Just make sure that I've selected that first. It should come in. So here's my quad, and the beauty of quads, we can just zoom into any format and see how it's changing here. And on this surface, then I can start distorting it. Of course, if I go to my view here, and I can go down to change background graphic, and the background graphic for this file was just this one. So I can just open up, and I can start just placing and matching to these particular shapes here. That one's in there, say. I might just click on another one here, back to this side. I'm going to click and add another shape. I just want to get a slightly larger area this time. And this one is going to say map to say this area. Okay, but what I want to do is I want to put it behind, so just grab it up like so. Put that one down. Just click off there. We can see that that should just jump up like so. One. Just bring them up again so we can swap them around. And you see we've got both the files in here. And anytime I can just click and drag that one and get it to match up. Okay. Now, just so I don't confuse them, I'm also going to go back to my quads here and go down and let's see, I'll play with the maybe the color just a little bit. So I'll go and click on this, so it's highlighted, and let's just play with the color there, so you can see what's sort of happening. Okay, even though I've got these two mixed up, and of course working live at this stage. If I just close that and bring this out, we can see basically how they're starting to look at this stage. And so you can see just how simple it is actually to work with. What we can do is, now I'm just going to go back and go into my presets, and I'm going to do one preset like that, and I'll call it 2 up. Just return key. So that's a 2 up one. Then I'm going to go back to my other quad here, and what I'm going to do is add another one. So I'll just do a triangle this one, and just bring this out so I can see it. and I'll take the triangle down, say here. Now, I'm not doing a very good job, but just to show you how this works, right, and how simple it is to start putting things together. I've got my triangle. Maybe within this view I might just zoom in just a little bit bigger, just to get an interesting shape. Here it is down here. That's better, and I might reverse it, so now it's going the other way. I could play with the colors as well, but I won't worry about this at this stage. I'm going to go back to my presets now, and I'm going to click, and I'll just go 3 up, return, and essentially if I just save this project, I'll call it quad test, and just save it into that same file. It's saved. And if I go back to my presets, see how you can just click on that one, and I could have 20, 30, whatever, and you're jumping around, even linked up to different files that you might be bringing in here. Okay, so I mean, we're just touching the surface of what you can do with the program. There's also masking. I'm not going to go over the masking in this video. I have earlier videos for that, so you can actually really play around with distorting the shape. So if I just quickly click on that, as you see, if I go back to here and down here, we've got mesh warping, masking, so that you can start playing with putting a sphere if you want to wrap it around mannequins and things like that, and a whole range of other things where I can start playing around, clicking on here and really starting to distort it. Okay, so if I click back and we just view it in the background, you can see sort of what's going on here, and while I'm doing that I might just click here and just on the presets at this stage and just add distort. So we'll just click on that. Then I can jump back to that one, jump back to that one, and you can see how you can really go to town with whatever you might be doing with Quartz Composer and Madmapper. So really enjoy working with these two programs because they really are fantastic. And of course, once you get into Modulate and working with Siphon, you can just imagine where you can go with that as well, and even the Connect setup as well. So thank you for watching.